how about we give more valuable information to people, not only regarding emotional and mental preparation for life abroad, but also some logistics and technical issues, and talking about visas and taxes and moving with a family and so many areas of life abroad, and then take a more holistic approach to moving and living abroad. It's not only about the mental and the emotional, what we used to do before, and it's not only about the technical and the logistic. It's like a whole thing, and this is how we believe we create a better life abroad, a life we can actually enjoy living.
I am so honored because I have two powerhouse women that are sisters that are in business together back, Maayan and Gal. It is such a pleasure to have both of you back. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you so much for having us again. We love it.
So excited for today.
Me too. I can't believe it's been 2 years. We were just chatting before we were filming. I can't fathom the fact how much has changed for both of you, your business, what you're doing, everything. But I want to know, what lesson or two have you learned in the last 2 years of building your business? How much has changed and shifted that you've learned along this 2-year mark?
Oh my God.
You're like too many things.
We've learned so much. I think the most important thing that we've learned is that it's a never-ending learning curve. Like, there's always something. Every time we think that we finally maybe reached, like there's something else we should learn about. There's something else. There's another growth curve, and it's a never-ending journey.
It just keeps going, right?
Yes, absolutely. And you know, as you were speaking, I was like, oh my God, it's been 2 years and we're still here. Imagine, you know, how many businesses don't last 2 years. And I'm like, oh my God, this is another amazing thing that happened these past 2 years. We're still here and still in business. So
it's great to hear that. But if we want to break it to like entrepreneurs or business owners about everything that we've learned, I think we've learned a lot about our audience, about what they want, about how they want things and what's important for them. We learned a lot about being entrepreneurs. We raised funds for the first time in our life just a couple of months ago. We learned a lot about technical stuff that we've never dealt with before.
So many new vocabulary, you know, it's like people are speaking to us. I'm like Googling, what does it mean? What's this world? But yeah, learning so many things. And, you know, another thing that we had to learn is not being afraid to ask questions, because we don't know everything, and that's totally fine. Gal said it's an ongoing learning curve. But it's okay to ask questions, and people actually appreciate when we ask questions. So that's how we learn, right?
Oh, that's such a huge point, because I used to be the person that was terrified to ask a question because I don't want to be like dumb or silly or like, oh, that's a stupid question. And I believe there's no stupid questions. And I'm glad you brought that up, because I think the more we ask questions, the more we can learn and get clarifying questions too, and finding out with like the tech and fundraising. I want to kind of now go into, you have a new app. Can you share what that's all about? I'm so excited for both of you, but can you share more for the audience?
First of all, thank you for being excited with us, because it is huge and it's big and it's like our baby. We've worked on it for the past 8 months approximately.
Yeah.
And it started, you know, back in November, when we asked ourselves, like, how do we get our business bigger? How can we impact more people living abroad? How can we add more value? How can we do more, give more? And then the idea of an app just, you know, came up, and we thought, okay, how about we give more valuable information to people, not only regarding emotional and mental preparation for life abroad, but also some logistics and technical issues, and talking about visas and taxes and moving with a family and so many areas of life abroad, and then take a more holistic approach to moving and living abroad. It's not only about the mental and the emotional, what we used to do before, and it's not only about the technical and the logistic. It's like a whole thing. And this is how we believe we create a better life, a broader life. We can actually enjoy living. And this is our intention and what we aim for, to bring more and more people who chose to live abroad to have a life they enjoy living.
Oh, I love it. And I want to take it back because I think it's so important being able to have the resources and tools at your fingertips, because that's literally, we have our phones attached to us for most of the time, some more than others. But when we talked 2 years ago, we were talking about the community that you've created, talking about the mental and emotional aspects of moving abroad, having people, even if they didn't live in the same country, but just coming together and having that commonality of the changes they were going through. So I'm curious, from that moment,
place where they can be listened, heard, talk about different subjects. And we created this platform for them. So we're meeting every single week. And we decided to contain every session around a specific topic. So they decide if they're coming or not based on the topic, but also it allows a conversation to be more interesting from our experience. When we started, it was like, let's just talk. And then the conversation would go like weird ways. So we contain it to a specific topic so that.
And it's all topics that are related to life abroad in a positive way, you know, self-care, self-love, boundaries. Yesterday we talked about summer self-care, all those topics that are, you know, to work on your mindset, but you don't have to really work hard for that.
and we talked about that, to moving into the app and making it more resources and tools. What was that shift for both of you to want to create the app and kind of shift the movement that you were making?
I think the most important part, and it relates to what I said earlier, is that we listened to our audience. So for the past 2 years, we've been working with mainly women. That was our audience 2 years ago. And they became part of our community. We worked with them on their confidence and on their resilience and navigating stress related to life abroad and how to deal with everything. Because let's face it, life abroad is amazing. We say it all the time, but it's only amazing if you approach it in the right way. And it's something that has been very much overlooked over time. But then the more we worked with them and listened to them, we were like, there's something missing. Because true, the emotional and the mental side is often overlooked, but they actually look for solutions and practical advices and resources that we didn't have at the time to give them. So we could only refer them to others that we started to network with, or send them back to Google, ask Google what you can do. And they were like, wait a second, but what if we actually will provide them with also the solutions to what they're looking for, in addition to giving them what they actually need, which is the emotional and the mental side of things. And that's how we came up with the idea of the app. We also opened it up to male and female now. We're not working only with women. And the community shifted into something we want to call more a movement rather than a community, because it's not about finding your neighbor or asking them, can you bring me a cup of sugar, and becoming a community. It's a movement. It's something bigger than ourselves. We're working with people that made the brave and the empowered choice of living in another country, not traveling, not surviving in another country. They really made a choice to, it's an amazing choice. So we want them to feel part of something bigger, of a group of people that really want to live and thrive and succeed abroad. And that's what we're here for.
And that's the beautiful thing of just how we can expand and grow. It doesn't have to stay in one entity, but like, because what you said earlier too, Maayan, it's like you've been here for 2 years, like both of you have said that, but the fact that you still are, and you've evolved and grown, and now you're servicing both male and female, and being able to bring people together to create that movement. And I think it's so beautiful and so important, especially living abroad. I mean, I've always dreamed of it. I mean, we still might, who knows, but I know who to come to when we need help. But I think it's just being able to understand it's not just about surviving or can I grab a cup of sugar from my neighbor? It's really being able to look at like how we can thrive in the places we're living and no matter where that is in the world. And I'm just really curious because creating an app doesn't seem like the easiest thing in the world.
Yep.
I mean, who knows? But in the last 8 months of building out the app, now it's launched. What was that process like for both of you? I know you said you asked a lot of questions, you were Googling a lot of things, trying to figure things out. But what did that actually look like, the tangible steps in making that happen?
Okay, so first of all, it's a roller coaster because like we had the idea, let's do this, and then it was, oh my God, how do we do it? How do we get the funds to do it? How much does it even cost? You know, where do we find the people that actually will develop the app? What tools do we want to? It's so many questions. And then it was like, down, you know, oh, can we actually do it? You know, the imposter syndrome, like, are we able to create, develop an app? And we haven't mentioned it before, but we partnered with dozens of experts in different fields. So all the content on the app, it's not us, right? We bring the emotional and the mental part of life abroad, but we partnered with other experts and they created content, video content for us for the app. So it was reaching out to others as well, you know, putting ourselves out there, saying, hey, we have a great idea. We don't know if it's gonna work, but can you please bet on us and put your content here? And it was really, you know, frustrating sometimes because a lot of people said, you girls are nice, but you are not going to be able to create an app so fast. It takes 2 years. You don't have enough followers. You don't have users. You don't have money. You don't have, like, we got so many no's and this can't be done. And you two are crazy. And you two are women. You don't know anything about developing an app or funding or all those things. And every time we got, you know, a bump in the road, it was like, okay, I need a minute to breathe. And how do I move forward? How do we move forward from there? So sometimes it got us, you know, hey, if you say we can do it, then we must do it to prove you wrong. And we had a lot of those moments,
Yep.
right?
Some moments had wine and Bailey's in the coffee because honestly, it was a lot. Some moment we went to scream outside and run and do whatever we needed to.
We cried a lot.
We cried a lot.
Cried a lot. Honestly, we cried a lot.
We'll say it like this. But I think that before getting into technicalities of what does it mean to develop an app, the one thing that kept us going is this instinct, this gut feeling, this why, this motivation, this thing that we have within each one of us for different purposes, that we're like, yes, it is damn hard. And yes, people are doubting us and we doubt ourselves at times and we don't know how, but we know what we want and why we want it. So we'll figure it out. And whenever we tried something that didn't work out, we're like, okay, so this didn't work. Let's try a different thing. And this is how you get on going because there's no other way. And that's how we are still here 2 years after we started. And because otherwise it's so easy to give up when things get tough, and it gets tough.
Yeah. And if you want to go through, you know, really quickly about the process and the technicalities. So first we needed a plan to understand how much does it going to cost us. It was really, really scary. Then after we had a plan, we needed some money. So we had to raise some money and to ask people, you know, present our idea, ask for money from people, for loans, some investors. Then we had to find a development team. So we have an amazing development team that we found. We interviewed so many and we chose those who, you know, spoke our language. And it was amazing work with them. We also, you know, interviewed, like I said, hundreds of experts in different areas of life abroad. We had to search for them on social media, LinkedIn, Google, you know, find the people that we really want to have on this app, because it's not about, you know, the biggest account on Instagram, but we wanted humans, people with a human touch that can explain in a simple way a unique topic of life abroad, and their own experience, their own perspective on things. So it was really a huge process. Then we had to explain them how we want the content, film them, edit. We have a video editor as well. She edited all the videos. We had to create a back office. Like, we have a front app, but we needed a back office as well to upload all the content. And it's like every step you take is like another 20 more tasks that you discover. We developed, we worked, we launched, and then now you need to market it. And then now you need to sell it to people. Now you need to convince more people to actually download the app and pay a subscription to get the content, right? So that's like a whole other journey that we are still discovering. It's still a work in progress. We just launched like
a month ago, exactly.
So yeah, like we said at the beginning, it's still a learning curve. We're still fixing some development bugs and adding some things, feature that we think are better.
We're still looking for new experts, and we still talk with other people, and it's an ongoing process. And it's funny because I talked with another entrepreneur recently, and he was like, this tax stuff, it's so complicated. There's always something to fix. Something's not working. And I was like, yeah, but that's the product. Like, that's what you're selling, a tech product. And of course, there's always going to be something else to add, a new technology coming up, a third party that changes their regulations that you need to adapt to.
Yeah,
there's always something going on, but that's how we roll.
Yeah.
And it's a testament just from what you both have been through and continuing to evolve. And that's entrepreneurship in a nutshell. Everything you just described, like that process, you take one step, there's 20 more in that one step, and then you get to the next step and you learn as you go. And not everything's going to stick, but being willing to adjust and adapt. And that's living life abroad too. You have to adjust. I mean, you know more than that than I do.
We many times compare entrepreneurs' life to life abroad because we're like, it's very similar at the end.
It is. I believe it. And just from all the stories I've seen from you and just all the walks of life that you've worked with and groups and communities. But I think the biggest thing is understanding that it's not giving up, because if you had given up, you wouldn't be here today and where you're at. And there's been hurdles, there's been obstacles that you've had to overcome. But it goes back to what you said, Gal, like it's your intuition, your gut telling you like, okay, I feel like there's something more here, not giving up on yourself. And everybody listening too, just knowing that you might have to tweak the step, but the goal can be the same. And that's exactly what happened with both of you, and being able to continue to persevere after every no, interviewing so many experts, having to deal with bugs, like the technical aspect of things and all the other things that I'm sure come through. But it's realizing that every no is just another step to a yes, and finding the right people, finding your people that are going to speak the language that you're speaking and be able to transform that into an app. But also, I want to mention the collaboration piece, having the different experts come in, because you know a lot, but then the other experts that are in that industry that know everything about, whether it's taxes or like anything that you have to deal with when it comes to moving abroad, which is like a million things, I'm sure.
A million things.
And you both have experienced it, but being able to really join forces, I believe we are so powerful when we come together, because even the conference I'm putting on in October, I combined forces with 2 other women to come together because we can have a bigger impact. And I'm really curious, because you've already accomplished so much, you're on your way to accomplish more, but what are your future aspirations and goals for the next year or so?
We have so many plans. But what you just mentioned about collaborations and growing stronger together is something that really is one of our, pillars of Smoozitive, because we do believe that by combining forces, this is how we'll grow together faster, giving more to our audience, more value, and this is one of our plans for the future, to grow bigger, to impact every person who's choosing to live abroad and want to create a life they actually enjoy living abroad. We want to get to them. We want to change their lives. We want to impact them. That's our biggest goal, right? We want to help people, live better. You just said to me the other day, live while you're alive, right? Just live, not survive, not just, focusing on struggling. And it's not about paying your taxes right or, packing the right way, not even, how to speak to a headhunter about an international job. It's not about that. It's how you approach things and how you decide. And it's a decision to enjoy this life you're living. And that's, I think, our biggest goal. The app is a tool for us to get to people, to give them more. But what we really want them is to enjoy their life abroad.
Yes, and I feel it, and what you've been able to create and just continue to help so many more people live the life they want to live abroad, of course, but having the resources, the tools, the community, and creating the movement that you are creating. I'm so honored to have both of you back on, but where can people find you, find your app? We're going to link everything below, but if you could let us know too.
The easiest way today is to find us on Instagram. I think our name is interesting enough. So there's not much of it out there. So if you type Smoozitive, you will find us on Instagram. You will find us on Google. Our app name is Syla, Syla. So you can find it both on Android and iOS. And there's also we talk about it all the time. So on Instagram, you will find us. That's where we talk most of the time. That's where we share most of our content and most of our behind the scene, in front of the scenes, all the scenes. This is where we act. So I think that's the easiest way for people to reach out.
Perfect. Well, thank you both again for taking the time to come back after 2 years, everything that you're doing to really make such a movement and impact in the world and all over the world as well, for both male and female individuals that decide to change their life and take that leap of faith to go somewhere else. But I've so enjoyed this conversation and I appreciate both of you for being here today.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment below. What was the biggest takeaway from today? I'm sure both of these lovely ladies would like to see that comment, and we'll see you on the next episode.